and welcome to Replay Retro Extended. On the last episode of Replay Retro, we took a look at Nintendo's Robotic Operating Buddy, or R.O.B for short. We had a look at the game Gyromite, which came bundled in with R.O.B. And today, we're going to have a look at the second game released for R.O.B. So without any further ado, let's take a look at the accessories that came with Stackup. So the first thing you'll notice here is that this is of course the Japanese version of Stackup, which was known as Block in Japan, and that is purely because the Western release of the game is just so hard to find complete. In fact, it's actually one of the rarest first-party games for the Nintendo Entertainment System, and as a result, finding it with all its accessories is just prohibitively expensive. So for me, I felt that the Japanese version was a far better choice, and there's plenty of these available on eBay or from other reputable retro gaming importers. So if you're not bothered about whether it's the Japanese or the Western version, I would definitely go for this version. Of course, because it's going to be a Famicom cartridge in there, you will either need a Famicom or a twin Famicom to play it on, or of course a converter so that you can use this with a Nintendo Entertainment System, or you could use, if you wanted to, a flash cart and then just have the ROM for the Block game loaded onto that. So what do you actually get inside the box? Here's one I prepared earlier. First up, as you'd expect, information leaflets and the instruction book, which is quite a nice little instruction book really. I quite like it. R.O.B there telling you not to stand in front of the TV, because if he can't see the screen, he'll be confused. Nice little graphic. Putting that to one side, we have the cartridge itself, which, as I said, is a Famicom cartridge. Next up, we have these little accessories here, which are for holding the blocks, just little plastic attachments, which clip into the accessory mount positions on R.O.B. So we'll just attach those quickly now. Obviously these are coloured like the Famicom system, so they do stick out a bit on this version of R.O.B. But again, you are saving a lot of money and time. Next up, you have the blocks themselves. Nice coloured blocks, which have a kind of waxy feel to them. I'm not really sure what kind of material these are. It's really hard to tell. They feel like some kind of heavy wax paper. But I just don't know really what they are. But they're all quite nice. Got Nintendo Block in shiny writing there. Very nice. And of course, these sit on the podiums around R.O.B. Next, of course, R.O.B is going to need to be able to pick these up. So he will need a special set of hands, just like he had for the Gyromite game. And these, instead of having the claws on them, just have little rubberized spongy pads there so that R.O.B can grip the blocks. With that then, R.O.B is all set up and he's ready to play Stackup, or in this case Block, on the Famicom or Nintendo Entertainment System. Here is Robot Block. From the main menu you can see there's a test mode there to see if he's connected. But the first actual game is direct, so we'll go in there. In this game, the Professor has direct control of R.O.B by jumping on the buttons on the floor. You can see over here, this is where the blocks currently are, and this is where the blocks need to end up. So, looks like we need to move the blue, white and red block. So we'll go down, and across to close. Then we'll lift it up. We'll move it to the number 2 slot. And we'll go down. Now the game has no way of detecting if you've finished it, unfortunately, and it relies on a little bit of honesty. So we'll go down once more. Then we'll open. And then we'll finish, and it will work out our score based on the time. It'll then move on to the next level, and you can see the starting position is already set up for what we just did. Obviously the game does rely on honesty, and obviously the only way to lose is if you knock over the blocks. So we now want to lift the yellow one off and take that to position 5. Let's try dropping it from there. Should do. There we go. So that's completed another level. So now we'll try memory. Memory is basically the same as direct, except now we have to do all the commands in a row. So you can see we need to move the whole stack to position number 1. So for that we're going to need to go down, then down again, then down again. Then we're going to want Rob to grip. Then we're going to want Rob to go up. Then we're going to want him to go left twice. Then we're going to want him to go down. Then we're going to want him to release. And that should work. So let's see what happens. So we'll pick his speed towards the slow. And let's see what happens. And down again. Working so far. Obviously you can choose the speed just in case you want to make sure Rob has time to react. So far so good. Obviously as the levels progress, the things that you have to do with the blocks do get trickier, and one mistake could send the whole stack tumbling. But that looks like it's worked. So we did it. So the next game is Bingo, 1 player. And this is the more interesting of the games. You can see the colours don't matter, but what we have to do is move all of the blocks to position 1. Now to do that we have to complete a line. So we want Rob to close his hands, so we need to clear this line over here. You can see however there is another... I can get knocked off like that, and there is another character on the board whose aim it is to make my life harder. He can control Rob, can that little jumping guy, and the floating guy around can make my life very difficult indeed. Now he's going to make it go left! Oh, Rob can't go left at the minute because he's stuck at the bottom. So you can see he's trying to counteract what I'm trying to do. Now I want to go up. So I need... In fact, it looks like that guy's going to... Oh, I did left accidentally. Up, that's what I needed. There we go. Now I need some lefts. Where's left? There we go. Now if I touch the blocks for a second time, they'll be actually... Is he going to do it for me? Yes! He's done it for me. Now I just need to go down. Oh, I knocked off the board again. And you can see that this adds a new dynamic. The 2-player version of this is very similar. And all we need to do now is release. And we've done it. We need to go back and check that we've done it, and then we can confirm that we've finished the level, and it moves on. So again, you can see that we're supposed to go back to level 3. What we'll do is I'll just quickly show you how the two-player version of this game works. So you can see in the two-player version you compete for blocks. One player tries to get all the blocks onto the left, the other tries to get them onto the right. Each controlling two different professors, as you can see, the red professor over there. I think Rob's getting some random mixed signals there. So we have the red professor on one side and the white professor on the other. I try to get all my blocks to the left. He tries to get all of his blocks to the right. And whoever gets the most blocks on their side wins the match. You start with one block on each side and go from there. It looks like Rob is getting some mixed signals at the minute. And that is Bingo 2-player. Sadly, Stackup was both the second and the final released title for the R.O.B accessory. If you want to know more about R.O.B, then check out our previous episode where we took a look in more detail at how R.O.B works and why Nintendo chose to create this strange accessory. That's all we've got time for on ReplayRetro Extended, but don't forget you can follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, or support us via Patreon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Oh, that was a mistake, and I've already messed up. So let's just get Rob to go back, because he didn't actually drop the block. Well, that was a good start, I think.